Hello. I feel like so many of your names, I've read them a million times, but I've never said it out loud. Like Hamsley24. Hamsley24. Do you guys ever have that where you have a word where you've read it, it's usually like a tech related word or something, you've read it like a bajillion times, but then you realize like you've never said it out loud and you're not quite sure how to say it? It's like that whole meme, like at this point I'm afraid to ask, that sort of thing. Oh no, didn't accept PRs. You're right, I haven't accepted PRs. My plan is to probably, as soon as 1737 is out the door, start pulling in PRs. I know I'm a bad person in making you wait, but yeah. Where are the video controls? It's not this one. Oh well. Wait, what? Delu? Oh, oh yeah. Talking about names that we don't know how to say. We add ranked systems. I would like to. Yeah, that's kind of that would be lumped under like squads, the squads mode stuff, which is going to be 1.9. That's the whole focus of the. Once I finally wrap up 1.8, which I can finally do now that 1737 is almost done, then I can wrap up 1.8, and then 1.9 becomes all about squads. So squads is all going to be about just kind of like revamping online multiplayer and making it like options to have it ranked and just making that whole thing modern and fun and slick. So anyway, yeah, just to the topic of the day, just to hop right into that. So as some of you have seen, the new test builds, I've started switching things around to the whole like chest system. So I wanted to kind of explain like where that is and where that's going and like the motivation behind it, just to get everyone's thoughts and feedback and whatever. Just to caveat it, like if you're playing it right now, it's probably broken. Like nothing has been balanced. You might be waiting for chests for too long, or there's not enough chests or whatever. But basically, if you haven't seen it, just to give you a quick overview. Whoa, let me turn the music down here. So to give a quick overview, for a long, long time, I've been planning to kind of revise how the game works in terms of like making its money, just to kind of simplify it and make it work hopefully in a more straightforward way for me and have less like weird balancing and stuff. For a long time there was just tickets and things like entering tournaments required tickets, other things required tickets, but then you could also win tickets for tournaments. And so there's a lot of like weird balancing with using tickets kind of for everything. It made it so I couldn't give people more tickets in the game and stuff, because then that would reduce like people's incentive to buy ticket packs and stuff. So it turns out like that was kind of a bad design. It's just something I've learned. And so this whole revamp is basically about like separating something out, which is like the paid currency, or like the as they say in game developer lingo, the hard currency. Like this would be a soft currency, and the new tokens would be a hard currency, because that's more like tokens is the one that people can pay for. So anyway, the whole point of this whole revamp is to try to kind of separate out what tokens are used for and kind of like simplify that and like focus it into one place. And so that is the whole like chest system. That's basically what that's about. So the idea is that whenever you earn anything in the game, if you win a tournament, or it will be expanded to like if you get a achievement, or if you pass a single player co-op level or anything like that, you get some prizes in a chest. And this is a very common dynamic where you have these 4 chest slots, you can get a chest, and then after some amount of time you can unlock that chest, or you can pay a little hard currency to unlock it faster, or watch an ad to unlock it faster. And so, like I said, some of you have probably run into this already. I can show you an example. I have all my little like test systems here, but I can give myself a test chest. Test BS inbox chest, boink. And also there's this new like notification inbox system, so you can send little messages. I'll send myself another message just to show you. I have all these little like test messages. So hello world. Or I can do like a dual message. I can do like, there's my dual message. So I can do like accept or decline. So I've been like writing this whole system to just try to be very generic or general, so I can use it for all sorts of stuff. I want a cheeseburger. Hello world. Okay, and claim a chest. So anyway, so yeah, the idea is that when anything you win in the game will go through the chest system, and the chest system you can just think of it as like it's kind of like a tax for free to play players. That's really what it is. I'm just trying to like focus it down to have like one place where if you want the game in like premium mode, if you want the game to not have to deal with all that stuff, like there's the option to do the gold pass, and then you never have to deal with waiting for chests or anything like that. You can just open them all instantly. But the whole idea about chests is basically just kind of like I said, just like a slight tax on for free to play players. It's like that's where you can spend a little in-game currency or watch an ad or whatever, or just wait for your chest to unlock. So this comes down to like, I'm gonna have to try to balance this so that it is like the right amount of fun, so that you can still enjoy the game and get good stuff if you're not paying anything, but that it's like worthwhile for people to pay a little something, like throw a few tokens here or there. So that's where we are right now. So the first thing I converted over, as you probably saw, is tournaments. So when you win a tournament, instead of getting tickets for like first place, you'll get a chest. And you also get chests for second and all the places. So that means like there's a lot more people earning tickets from tournaments now, which should be a good thing. I feel like before there was kind of a bad feedback loop where the first place in a tournament would get tickets and like nobody else would. And so then that meant the first place player could play the tournament more, which meant they're probably going to get first place next time, which means they're going to get more tickets. So, it seemed like a little bit of a bad economy feedback loop that would make like the winners always be the winners. So part of removing like token or ticket fees from tournaments is to kind of make things more fair so that anyone can enter tournaments equally. It's not, kind of removes a little like pay to win from it. So anyway, that's where things are right now. Right now, there's only tickets for tournaments, or only chests for tournaments. Oh, also, to show you what that looks like, as of last night, I pushed a new update where when you win a tournament, you should get a nice little notification. So I have a test here just to show what that looks like. So test inbox turn EC, boink. So before, when you won a tournament, you get a little notification or a little screen message saying like, you won a tournament and got this trophy. But now you'll get this thing, which shows, where you placed in the tournament, what the tournament was, and you can come in and take a look at like the final standings, and then you get like your little whatever prize, which is always a chest in this case. Though I made it super general so I could have it be different things. If we want a tournament that gives you like a custom character or something like that, we could totally do that. So anyway, if you grab the latest 1737 builds, you should get all this stuff. And let me know if you run into any bugs or whatever. Like I said, my next thing on my agenda is I want to make all achievements give you chests. Right now, achievements give you a few tickets when you unlock them, but I want to have them give you chests instead. And then after that, I want to have, progress in the single player campaign, or maybe just like beating a level will give you chests. Probably the same with just custom games or whatever. So details are forthcoming, but the idea is that like basically everything you earn in the game will go through chests. And then I just want to balance chests so that it feels, not too grindy. It feels like you can have fun, and hopefully are encouraged to watch a few ads or pay a few tokens, but I don't want it to feel like nasty. But the good thing is, if I miss and it is like preventing you from progressing too much, there is like the gold pass parachute. So this basically you can escape from all the grindiness. And this is like, it adds like a maximum amount of grindiness, like I don't want this to be one of those games where it just encourages you to pay more and see where like your breaking point is. So like the breaking point is clamped at the gold pass. So I'm hoping that that comes across as not too sleazy. So anyway, there are interesting things to discuss. Like right now, tournaments are just totally free for everyone. So this has been a topic of like, what would be a fun way to do it? Like, do we want them to be totally free? Like, play as much as you want, or should there be tournaments where you can only play one time, or once every few minutes or something? I'm open to any ideas, so I'm curious like what you guys think. My only preference is that it just be equal for everybody. If it's once every few minutes, like that should apply to everyone. It shouldn't be pay tickets to play more than poor people, stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I've been yapping. I will go see what you all. Tickets pay tournament. So, see, I fully disagree. I feel like if you have tickets pay tournament, that means the tournament winners are the only ones that can play the tournaments. I feel like that's a downside. Does anyone else disagree? Or I feel like the upside of that is that it prevents you from playing tournaments too much, and it makes tournaments more like intense because it's like, oh, okay, this is my one shot. But I think we can do that other ways. I think we can prevent people from playing tournaments over and over and over again if that's something we want. But maybe that's fun for people, is to like keep trying until you have a best score or something. So I don't know. Or we can also do something like some of each. Some tournaments could be like you can play this tournament 3 times, or this could be like an all you can play tournament or something. Like maybe that could be worth doing. Just try both methods and see what people enjoy. Yes, I am recording. This little button up here means I'm recording. To review the update. Oh, cool. Well, cool and not cool. Like I hope you're like I hope you have a little asterisk about the balancing and stuff. Like I said, I need to go through these chests and make sure they're not too slow or whatever. Like once I get all the chests in here, I just want to like spend some time playing through the game and like feel how it feels. I don't want it to be like, oh, I can play for 5 minutes and then I have to wait 3 days. That's too far. But at the same point, I don't want to go too far the other direction where it's like, oh, I never feel like I need to spend tokens, because fundamentally, like the game needs to pressure people a little bit to spend something or watch ads. I mean, if watching ads is better for people, that's great. But like, I got to pay for all the servers that I want to be spinning up. So at the end of the day, gotta pressure people a little bit to make some money. A lot of I feel like the normal thing with, kind of unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, the normal like free-to-play concept in mobile games, most of them rely on the concept, it's kind of a derogatory term, but whales. It's basically the average free-to-play game where you see there's like a $200 skin or something. What winds up happening is it's like 1% of the players, or like a very, very, very tiny percent of the player base winds up spending like insane amounts of money. And they call them whales. So it kind of comes down to like the games are written for those players, like that 1% of players, and it works financially. It's like there are, some either rich people or people with, impulse control problems that wind up spending thousands and thousands of dollars on games. I'm just trying to avoid that. To me, that feels kind of like a little slimy, and also like I want this game to be about like everyone, equally, and not just about like that 1% of players. Just because if it is about everyone, then you're going to get more people modding the game, and like the community is going to be more interesting and stuff like that. So I'm trying to kind of aim this to be more targeting the average person and not targeting like the whales, quote unquote. Okay, so all right, big text. I will read the big text search. Free tournaments, more chests, time limit 24 hours, forces most of the players to add. Okay, yeah, I'm totally. Yeah, cool with this. Like if the balance winds up being where most players are like kind of churning through chests pretty fast, with the help of some ads or whatever, like that's great. After thinking about this a long time, this whole like revamping this economy, the thing I liked about it is, like I said, the fact that there is this escape hatch, so it doesn't incentivize me to try and get more and more and more out of people. It's like if I put something in there that's like gonna take you grinding forever and bajillions of tokens, people will just like start buying the gold pass or leave the game. So that disincentivizes me from trying to do that, which I think is good. So my incentive is actually, I've mentioned this before, I kind of don't want people to buy a gold pass. My incentive is to like try to aim for somewhere where the average player is comfortable maybe either watching ads or buying a token pack every now and then. And so, if I push too many people to either buy a gold pass or leave the game, then I feel like I'm doing it wrong. So that's kind of where I want the balance to be. But yeah, I feel like hopefully you guys understand what I'm aiming for. So if you can, once once the final version or this final build is out, if you can kind of give me some feedback of like, hey, I was playing this game for a day and I felt like I couldn't unlock anything, even though I watched a bunch of ads or whatever. Like, let me know if it feels too far in one direction. As players, you probably won't tell me if it's too far in the other direction. Like, hey, I never have to pay for anything. This is great. I'd love feedback like that too, if you feel that way. But I understand. That probably wouldn't be. It's like when you're at a grocery store and they give you too much change. It's always hard to be, like, oh, hey, you gave me too much change. Okay, can you answer my question? There's probably about 45 questions I've missed. So, what do we got? Okay. If you have a 1.8 client and a 1.4 server, if the server has custom textures, 1.8 will download without blah, 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 blah. Okay, the only thing for downloadable stuff, you will have to be running a 1.8 server. And that stuff, it's going to have to be written in kind of it's not going to just like use the existing like Bob files and things like that out of the box. It won't be just like using your local ones. It's going to be using asset packs. And so I started to kind of show these before, but asset packs are things you can make on the website here, which you basically, add textures and sounds and whatever. And then when you're coding, games will have to be recoded a little bit to use asset pack textures and asset pack sounds and whatever. And that'll all be like a new API in 1.8. And so when games do that and they're run, hosted on a 1.8, well, they'll have to be because they're using a 1.8 APIs. Then any 1.8 players joining them will automatically download those asset packs. And I wanted to do it this way, so like asset packs exist like on my cloud servers, so they can be distributed like on AWS and things like that, so everyone can download them fast. I didn't want it to try to do some sort of peer-to-peer thing where it like downloads the assets from your mobile connection on your phone or something. One that doesn't seem like it would be good. If you're playing online and then someone connects and then suddenly they're downloading like 2 megs of stuff over your connection, it's going to like destroy the game for everyone else. So there's kind of technical reasons to avoid that. And also just I can, if the asset packs are on my server, I can make sure they're not going to blow up the game and stuff like that, or they're not going to get me in legal trouble. I hope that answered the question. So 1.8 servers will be able to host asset pack based games, and other 1.8 clients or 1.8 clients will be able to join those and download the asset packs. 1.4 will still be able to, like, any servers hosted by less than 1.8, or maybe I'm not sure yet if I will allow hosting like legacy servers from 1.8. It might be doable, probably, maybe. But basically, if you're hosting in legacy mode, whether that's an old server or a 1.8 in legacy mode, that means like 1.4 and up will be able to join. If you're hosting in like asset pack mode, which requires 1.8, then only 1.8 people will be able to join. So there's definitely benefits to the asset pack stuff, but it does come with some technical trade-offs, How much tickets do? Oh, I have. I have a lot of tickets. This is mainly just because this is like, I'm testing stuff. So I've been testing. I know this probably feels weird to see because like treasure chests are kind of hard to acquire for folks, but for testing this sort of stuff, I've just built myself all these little like testing functions, so I can test level 1 treasure chest. Boink! Oh look, there's 4 level 1 treasure chests. So I've spent a lot of time, going through testing chests, testing level 2 treasure chests. Whee! So that explains why my ticket count is like insane right now. It's all from like testing stuff, but these aren't like legit earned tickets. I've not earned any of this. It's like purely testing. You can make your ticket number infinite. Not ticket. Oh, yeah. There's no limit on tickets. I didn't want to do that because I know it is a little gambly. Getting on a side tangent. Like I know I have this little thing with odds here, and it like spins through the odds. Um, from what I was reading, I think this is a requirement in some countries. Like if you have any sort of like loot box model or treasure chest model, like you have to tell the player what the odds of getting something are. I don't know exactly if it applies in this case because I'm not actually selling these boxes. You can't like go into the store and buy a loot box here. I feel like that's too like sleazy free to play. So I'm not sure if I need to show the odds, but as long as I kind of figured it's sort of, it is a little gambly, but it's sort of fun to just like show the little spinner. Like, whee. Oh, I got the crappy one. Oh, I missed something. Okay, what did I miss? Good way to keep tournaments free. Allow for free. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, for now, I probably won't make any changes, so I'm probably going to roll this version out with just like all you can eat free tournaments. And I am kind of curious like what effect that'll have. Like right now, most players on here, the vast majority of these people, I'm sure, are still 1736, so they don't have free tournaments. So you kind of have in a way, you have an unfair advantage by playing this test build. But once everyone is converted over, I'm curious like what that will do to the feel of tournaments. If it's going to be like a lot harder to win, or if there's going to be more people playing, and so it's actually easier to win. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see. Well, the other thing, I mean, that's an interesting concept. I do want to come up with more ways for people to burn tickets because I feel like the economy has been sort of broken for a long time, and there's always been like a limited amount of stuff to buy. Hopefully that'll change with 1.8 now that we can add stuff easier, or we'll be able to add stuff easier. So yeah, it does seem like it would be nice to give like a more opportunities to spend all the tickets you're gaining. The only thing that like I've never really liked with ticket fees for tournaments is that the prize in some cases is tickets, so it feels a little bit like, well, I don't know, it feels like it disincentivizes. Like I don't want to spend my tickets to win tickets, but I guess maybe that's how life works. Does that seem weird to anyone, like charging tickets to enter tournaments, but then you can also win tickets from tournaments? Like does that like muddy the fun of them? Like, oh, I won some tickets from this, but I probably spent more than that winning. I don't know, maybe that's not bad. It's called I know it's called gambling, but still I don't want it to it's funny in a way, like there's so many, we have this thing where like, oh, gambling mechanics are bad, but also they are also pretty common in games or in life. If like you're playing an RPG and you go out just like fighting random bad guys to see if they drop a cool sword. I mean, that's kind of gambling. You're like pulling a slot machine lever in a way. You're just doing it in a roundabout way by, fighting bad guys instead of pulling a lever. So yeah, that is certainly an option. We could just have like low ticket costs for tournaments. Like maybe an entry would be like 1 ticket or something like that, just to slow people down a tiny bit. Coffee addiction and gambling. Yes, exactly. Coffee and gambling. I should rename it to that. Coffee and Gambling with Eric every Wednesday. Be there. But yeah, I did kind of have fun with the little prize odds system. Like I said, it does feel a little gambly, but also like these tickets, or you can't purchase these chests, so I feel like it's not that directly gambly. I don't know. Add blackjack. There's a new tab in the store. There's like the blackjack and the hookers tab or something. Oh god, this is terrible. That's also come up too, is like new chest look. Like right now, all the chests are the same. They're just like different color schemes. I mean, hopefully it's kind of, the level 6 chest is gold. Level 5 chest is crazy purple. I was kind of, I don't know, just trying to be creative. Some people said it should line up with the equivalent trophy that you always get, which is an interesting point. I would like to, if I have time, like maybe remodel some of these chests so they look a little bit more visually different. Like right now, everything is just the same. It's just different color schemes. But that's more just like if I get time, I'd love to do it. Do not remodel. I'm not remodeling right now. It's that would be a bit of a time suck. I'm trying to stay focused. Okay, sweet. So yeah, well, thank you if you bought a gold pass. That's, but yeah, if you buy a gold pass and you see anything that I forgot to like fix for it, like I'm trying to go through and check everything out, make sure it does the right thing with gold passes. Let me just check that right now. I'm going to show you my deep, dark, secret account editor. Account found. Burp, burp, burp. Entitlements. Add myself a gold pass entitlement. Add entitlement. Ta-da! Okay, I now have infinite gold, or infinite tokens. So now if I come in here, well, let's see. I'm trying to think anywhere else where tokens would show up. Oh yeah, well you see like all these chests are just, there's no more token cost or anything like that. If I go and take away my gold pass, remove from account, boink, then yeah, the timers all come back. So yeah, gold pass basically, the whole idea with the gold pass is I just wanted to make, like that turns the game into a premium game instead of a free-to-play game. So yeah. So yeah, let me know if like I said, if you still see tokens showing up anywhere and you have a gold pass, let me know, because they should not. Oh, and why is let's see, there should be the camera. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's weird. Okay. I'm going to switch to wide angle mode because, yeah, this is way too, like, there we go. Okay. Oh, wait, can you, just hearing game sounds, that's weird. Okay, well, if the rest of you all hear me, I wonder why that would be. Like, is it sending some sounds to some people and different sounds to other people? Huh. Oh, can you remind me what that bug was? I apologize. I'm not always the best at seeing everything or responding sometimes. I go into like heads down mode and ignore the world for days at a time. I would like private tournaments. Ooh. So, cheater.org.
Cheater.
Arabic language in PC. So this is, that whole issue is Unicode support, being able to display Unicode strings. I will definitely add that before the Steam release. And the Steam release, you know, that's 2.0, so it's still a ways out. I'd like to do that earlier. I know a lot of people play in Arabic, and I feel bad that, you know, the game on PC doesn't properly support it, or Linux. That's more just like, I'm wondering maybe during 1.9, maybe I will get like an early access Steam release so I can start to kind of iron out that stuff and give PC people more like a, I don't know, a slightly more polished experience, or at least just fix that. So yeah, so sorry about the crappy language support on Windows, but yeah, I'll try to get that fixed. I'd like to get it fixed on Linux as well, but that's more like definitely a stretch goal. It seems like that would be trickier too. There's like a lot of weird different versions of libraries and things like that on Linux. I'd have to figure out like what library I can use to draw Unicode text and what's going to be available on like your average Linux distro and whatever. Unicode support before 1.8. That could, honestly, that could happen. There's no technical reason not. I should do it. I know it's been like a major blemish in the PC version for a long time. It's more just like, do I want to spend those 2 days to do it or something? And it's probably worth it. So definitely, any of you folks that you're affected by this, like, please keep bringing it up. Just like make it. I wish there was like a better way that I could judge like which issues are the most important to people. But if you just bring it up in Coffee with Eric, that at least keeps it on my radar. So thank you. 2 years and we'll be able to read special characters. I know it is kind of sad. features in this game are just like, oh, this will be here in like 3 years. But hey, better slow than never, better late than never. Good to have some way to prevent infinite attempts in Diamond League. So okay, so this could be that could be an argument for either a small ticket cost or like a time limit. You know, just like you can play once. Like, how would you all feel about like a time entry? Like, you can play the tournament once per 5 minutes or per 10 minutes or something like that. Do you think that would be, and then that could be calibrated based on the game? I guess, because essentially that would be fair for everybody. And if, you know, even if it's a small ticket cost, that's going to be kind of keep some people from playing a lot because they'll, you know, even if it's only like one to 5 tickets or something, eventually some people might run out, and other people who have a huge stockpile, it's like not an issue for them. You know, they always say like that any law or like a traffic law or anything like that charges you a fixed amount technically only applies to the poor. You know, like that's one like social thing they say. Because for wealthy people, like that amount basically doesn't matter. So it's effectively only a law for the poor people. So you know, I feel like it's sort of fees on tournaments could be considered similar. Okay, let me read this. Randomness. Okay, that is a good point. A lot of this stuff, there is honestly like some of the randomness, like I would like to get rid of, and I definitely want to get rid of. Some of it will have to wait probably for Scene V2 because it's almost like for technical reasons. There's certain, like within the SPAS C++ code and various other things, there's a lot of things that get just initialized to random values. And so like it's just not deterministic really at all. Maybe I could put a lot of work in and make it deterministic, but you'll notice that sometimes where if you're playing on a server and it keeps sending you like reset packets to like fix your physics, like your character will just like get reset like 4 times in a row because it's like the physics on your end are doing something a little different than the server. It's like you'll have like an arm that like snaps back. That's what that sort of thing is. It's like you're getting a different random number on your client than the server is getting, and so things don't quite line up. I would like to, now that I see how serious people take tournaments and things like that, I would like to be more strict about that in upcoming, you know, Scene V2 and things like that. Also, that'll be very helpful for, you know, like client prediction and stuff. So I totally hear you. Where any amount of randomness that can be taken out is good, especially if people are able to restart any number of times. Because yeah, that would suck if race players who are doing race tournaments like restart the tournament 10 times just to get like a better starting position every time. Like I don't want to have people doing that sort of stuff. That just seems like even if it does like shave off some time for them, that still just seems like a waste of their time. Okay, so the texture is it's kind of an interesting point where the texture for I should have not put a B on it because everyone calls it the Bitcoin. I just meant that to be like Ballistica or Bomb Squad, probably Ballistica actually, because it applies to like your Ballistica account, which could, if I do other games like an AR version or something like that, like I plan for it to use the same tokens, or even a totally different game. I plan on this being just kind of like a general thing, which is kind of why the B is for like Ballistica. But yeah, everyone assumes it's like, oh, why is this game using Bitcoin? Is this one of those sleazy crypto games? But yeah, that the image for the token has been in there for a long time, actually. Same as like some of these other, like the treasure chest texture has actually been in there for a long time. I forgot when, like since 1.6 or 1.7 maybe. The texture is actually called coin. It's not called token. So it does show up in older versions here. 10, 50 is the golden race. Oh no, that's terrible. This might be something like if any of you want to take a look at that, like that might be something that someone could fix on your own, you know, just to make things a little bit more predictable. Like if you come into race and just see like how it places people, like maybe there's, you know, some code that can be tweaked to make that more deterministic. Like it will always place you based on, you know, your client number or something. Yeah, I'm always mentioning the AR version. I'd still like that's still this is not honestly there's not any solid plans for this, but I would still love to do something fun with, you know, Bomb Squad tabletop or something like that. Or yeah, like a VR headset or AR headset version of the game where like you're playing on the floor or something like that. Could be fun. Tokens are the Robux of Bomb Squad essentially. Yeah, I'm not trying to be creative with tokens or anything. I'm totally just copying, you know, hard currency concepts from other games. It just to me this seemed like a hopefully a fair one or like kind of an easy to balance one. Like I said, I'm just treating it. I'm trying to think of it as I want to balance the game as if everybody has a gold pass, as if like it's the premium game for everybody, and then the whole like tokens and chests mechanic is just kind of like a slight tax on people who haven't paid for a gold pass or whatever, you know, and you can pay that tax watching ads or buying a few tokens, or you can not pay it and just have things be a little slower to get shiny stuff. So yeah, I know it's not original or anything like that, but to me it seemed like something that would work well and not be too sleazy, free to play kind of thing. Even though, you know, like I said, it does have a little of the gambly feel sometimes. Early development of Bomb Squad videos. I'm trying to think if, where did I have some of those? Why I'm blanking right now. I know I had some old videos tucked away. Movies? No. Eric, please update the game. Good idea. I'll do that. So I'm hoping to get this version out the door like pretty soon. Like I said, I really want the last few things on the list are I really want to get achievements giving you chests, and I really want to get some sort of chests for just playing single player. So if you're just a new person working through the game, will, you know, start to get a lot of like L1 and maybe some L2 chests, things like that, just to be able to start to unlock stuff. Also, I do think probably sooner rather than later, Pro will probably go away. I just need to make Infinite Onslaught and Infinite Runaround unlockable in the maps section. And yeah. And then I need to do something like, I plan to do some sort of like special, limited time special where if you buy any token pack, it will disable between game ads for you. So that'll kind of replace everything that the Pro Pass, or not Pro Pass, Bomb Squad Pro used to do. But anyway, yeah, so once I add, achievement chests, campaign chests, and then I need to do some translations. Like a lot of these things are still English only, so I need to run a translation pass. But after that, then I think I should be ready to start rolling out this build. 1737. I feel like it should have a more prominent number. It's a very like minor update sounding version. Oh wow, nice. Oh, and then also, yeah, the one other thing that reminds me is there's the Pro bonus right now where, oh, whoops. Yeah, the Bomb Squad Pro multiplier. So I will probably just give everyone running 1737 or later that multiplier. So it's essentially like, you know, it's almost like everyone has Pro at that point, or most of the features of Pro. Social credits? Is that a real question, or is this like a dystopian thing? Like, is that a thing games have, like social credits? Like, thinking about that concept, I guess that could be kind of cool. Like, something that if you're being a jerk and like smurfing and stuff like that, you get, or harassing people, I guess you could get your social credits docked. Merp. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this brings up good questions. Like right now, yeah, there do seem to be a number of kind of exploits playing tournaments where yeah, you play with a few different profiles and you'll get multiple entries. Yeah, maybe the easiest is to I could just run a filter and make sure that people with the same account. I'm kind of surprised I'm not doing that already. Like if you enter twice with the same account but different profiles, I feel like it should only have one entry for you. So if I'm not doing that, I should definitely fix that. Also, at some point, I'm not sure if I'll do it for classic tournaments, but I feel like it would make sense to start and require V2 accounts and also like verify them. Right now, there's still people able to kind of like spoof a V2 account on here if you just like send a fake string and stuff like that, and I need to fix that. If you see a V2 account mentioned, you should be able to assume that you're looking at the actual person's stuff, and so that's not necessarily the case here, so I need to fix that. But yeah, that's a good point. Any sort of, yeah, like tourney exploits like that, I'd love to clear those up. Oh, burp. Seeing the manual camera mod. Oh yeah. So this comes up a number of times, the like first person bomb squad. I mean, it could be interesting. It's just my response is always that most things in the game aren't really designed for that. So like most of the levels don't have things on the backs of them, or the textures aren't really designed to look good close up, stuff like that. There's lots of tricks that first person shooters and things like that use to display levels. Like if you leave a room and go to another room, it doesn't draw the room that you just came out of, stuff like that. Bomb Squad doesn't really have any of that in the engine. It's kind of just designed to show like a simple flat set of stuff to everybody, which gives it, there's some upsides to that too. It makes for efficient code and things, but it also means it wouldn't be the best choice necessarily for doing a first person shooter. I know people could, or a first person game, not a shooter, but I guess, people are still able to make simple first person things. Like I shouldn't stop people, but so I'd be okay if we want to add it like a proper first person camera controller or something like that. I know people have done it kind of with Python scripts. It'd be interesting to make that more like a proper feature just for people to have fun with. I don't see it being like an official thing unless that, maybe that could change if someone came up with like a super fun first person option. But yeah, it would be weird. I'm sure like if you technically like attach the camera directly actually to like a Spaz's eyes, it would probably be shaking all over the place. I mean, there's all the weird springy physics and whatnot on the Spaz model, so it would be. I'm sure you'd have to do a little filtering or something. Is it normal 1.7 runs poorly on Mac? What kind of Mac do you have? It shouldn't be normal. For me, it runs well. Like I believe, whoops, I always forget where these options are. For me, it runs pretty much it. I mean, granted, I have a shiny new Mac, so I'm probably not a good judge of this. 2019 Mac, it should, okay. I mean, maybe I need to do an optimization pass. I have a 2018 and a 2016 old MacBook that I used to use. So at some point, maybe I should just sit down and run it on there and see how it's behaving. Um, yeah, there shouldn't be any reason that it runs poorly, but there could be something where maybe I messed something up. So I should take a look. Huh. Interesting. One thing I'd be interested in is if you run it and take a look at your activity viewer or activity monitor, see if you see anything fishy, like if it's using 100% CPU or something like that, because that might mean that, for me here, it's using 26. It should always be in that area, like 20 to 30, maybe 40 at the most. But yeah, if you see something like crazy higher than that, definitely let me know. I'm surprised it's even in the 20s here. It should be less, but I think that's probably because the 120 frames per second it's doing, the rendering loop is running really fast. Oh no, let's do an overclocked. If you got a video to show, let's take a look. I always love seeing overclocked stuff. It's cool to see like all the crazy stuff you bend the engine into doing. It's fun. Oh, all right, Rabbit Boom. Sorry to hear that. Oh, do you want to remove V1 accounts completely? Not until I have to. I mean, right now they're still in here. They're very broken. There were like a lot of this live update stuff, all these new features. They require V2 accounts. But as long as, and also V1 accounts aren't even enabled by default. You have to go down here and do like, enable legacy accounts or classic, whatever they're called. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, show deprecated login types. So you have to jump through some hoops to even use them anymore. But they still can be useful, like if you want to just play a teams or free-for-all game or whatever. Yeah, so I don't plan on removing them. I'll try not to break them. I'll try to keep them in as long as I can, but they won't be, they're not really first-class accounts anymore. Play a tournament and get first, your name disappears from the top sometimes? Like you just drop out of the results completely, or what do you mean? Okay, this is great to hear. 1.4%. I do feel, in general, like on Mac, I feel like percentages are always a little higher, which is weird. Like Macs are pretty efficient and all that, but it's always been kind of like that. Where if I look at like the percentage Bomb Squad is using on a Mac versus bringing out like top on Linux or something, it seems like it's always lower elsewhere, which is strange, but yeah. How's your grades my grades in middle school? Is that what you're asking? I got like good grades. I wasn't like the top of the class, but I got good enough grades. I never spent a lot of time on homework or whatever. I did like enough to get by and get mostly, A's and B's, but I spent all my free time like nerding out on train sets and computers and fun stuff like that. So I personally think it's fun to have, things you're passionate about, even if it's not necessarily school, though it's still good to do good in school too. I should caveat that I went to art school. So art school is definitely they care less about grades and things to get in. Also, it's more just like show a portfolio. So that's part of why I didn't care as much about having perfect grades or anything. .92. We were always on like a 4 or 5 point scale. So is that like a 10-point scale, or like what is? Oh yeah, this. I feel like this sort of thing. So the question is, yeah, people who use invented rules to tell someone that they don't play well and are not a pro player. Yeah, I feel like that's just the human condition, right? It's like some people just. This happens. I remember a good friend of mine, he was so much fun to play Halo with. Like we'd play Halo back in the day, and if you use the rocket launcher in any map, you would just like it's just like not cool, man, like not cool. It's some sort of like weird social contract that he made up. So it was kind of a similar sort of thing, just because he considered it unfair. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a bummer. I personally say like if it works, use it. I don't know, but then I guess there's a reason social pressure exists. Like applying a little bit of peer pressure to keep people behaving honorably or whatever. Maybe that's okay, but I mean, it should be on me. Like I should be doing a better job to balance things, or if there is an imbalance that people have to come up with like an honor system to work around. I feel like I should fix that imbalance, and I think a lot of modders probably have. I just need to pull in some of those tweaks for Scene V2 or something. Strange thing about being in first person. Oh yeah, yeah. You can see like in this first person view, it's like you could totally make a map that looked better, and like that wouldn't actually be too hard. Like making a small, like remaking a map of this size, like the engine could draw that just fine, even in first person view, I think. But yeah, you would definitely want to rebalance the textures so that you didn't have these smeary parts and blurry parts and everything. And yeah, maybe that would still be worth doing. It's like a lot of fun games aren't the best looking games. But I have tried to like make Bomb Squad look good from its, like the view it's intended to be viewed at. I want it to look like detailed and decently high quality. Whereas seeing something from this view, like that doesn't look high quality. So it's like I feel like it kind of gets away from the look of the game a bit. But still, like, hey, who am I to judge? If you want to make something like a cool first person thing and it's fun to play, like go for it. When I upgraded my account to V2, suddenly became outdated. So when you upgrade to V2, are you talking about your device account? Because when you take a device account and upgrade it to V2, then basically you have a new account, like you have an email-based account, and you need to sign in that way. If you try to sign in with your V2 or with your old device account again, it'll just tell you like, sorry, this has already been upgraded, because it has, if that makes sense. So your old account still exists, or your old login. It's technically pointing at the same account, your old V1 login. But like you should access it through like the V2 email password login. So okay, let's take a look at some Overclocked here. Read before watching. All right. Theme showcase. Rain Thunder theme. Rare theme. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love the atmosphere there. It reminds me of playing like Zelda: A Link to the Past when I was a kid, and it was like raining when you start the game, and you're going out into this like cold, rainy environment. Super cool. Yeah, like the flickering lights. Oh, that makes me want to improve. I know the lighting system is super basic and all that, but it makes me want to like improve it a bit, or make it, I don't know, be able to do like kind of slightly fancier stuff. So yeah, always awesome work. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. It'd be interesting to see like what kind of games you could almost do like horror games or something. There's some scary thing that's running around. You can only see it like when the lightning flashes. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Dónde está el baño? I had Spanish in high school, so I know a random amount of words, but I could not actually carry on a conversation in Spanish. Is this a like talking about keyboards versus controllers? Is that like are keyboard players considered for games like this? Are keyboard players considered to have an advantage over controller players? I was watching some speed run of like the original Super Mario Brothers the other day, and apparently like this guy got within, it's like this big deal. He like set the broke the world record recently. He got within like 15 frames of absolute perfection, and I guess he uses an emulator and a keyboard, which kind of surprised me. So it just makes me wonder like is keyboard play considered more? I know keyboard mouse, first person shooter players are considered to have an advantage over controller players. That makes sense because like I feel like analog sticks are not terribly accurate. I just didn't know if it's the same for like action games, jumping and bombing and running and punching and stuff. Interesting. Because with Bomb Squad, it's like, I mean, the controller, the analog stick, I feel like that is somewhat of an advantage just because you get the full range of values. With the keyboard, it's like, the soft interpolated values. It makes me feel like I did a decent job with the keyboard controls, though, in terms of like, like slowly interpolating movement direction. But yeah, that's interesting to hear. Fun fact, the most hardest languages are Arabic, Chinese, and Japanese. Huh. I've heard Polish is pretty hard too. My wife's Polish, and it seems very hard. But yeah, I'm sure those are the yeah, I have heard those are hard also. Yeah, I assume it seems like there's a decent number of people here speaking Spanish, right? There's I mean, taking a look at the handy dandy map here, still South America is, and not that everyone there speaks Spanish, but there's still a pretty dense area of people playing. Of course, India over here leading the pack. U.S. sucking, but just got to get out iOS, I guess. Do we have any submarines out today? One or two. Nothing too crazy. Oh, sorry, left some debugging stuff in. The latest test builds and update should fix that. I just pushed one out like literally right before this stream started. So if you grab the latest, that ugly stuff should go away. I was printing out like tournament stats because I was wiring up the little like tournament inbox results thing. So I had to see like what all information is important to a tournament. So, but yeah, that's interesting to know that yeah, keyboard players can be better. That brings up questions though in terms of like, is it the game, like should the game do something about that, like have separate leagues for keyboard players or things like that, or at the opposite end of the spectrum, I feel like touchscreen players kind of have a disadvantage, right? Or is there anybody who's like great with a touchscreen? To me, that seems like that would be hard. Like I can play okay, but I much prefer playing on a controller or a keyboard. Like, is there anyone who's just like a savant at playing on a touchscreen? Oh, thank you. Do people, this brings up an interesting point with keyboard 8 direct precision, talking about like precision for directions. Do any people with controllers like use the D-pad for similar reasons? Because technically it gives you like precision directions. Like I've never done that. I feel like I use the D-pad on a controller if I'm like playing an old emulated SNES game or something. I guess the D-pad on a PlayStation controller is pretty good. But I feel like in general, if I have an analog stick available on a controller, I always use that. Like a lot of times, even in games that only support, D-pad movement. Interesting. Because yeah, there must be some reason that like that is the standard controller design, is to have a D-pad and an analog stick. Like it didn't just turn into analog stick only. So it's like there must still be advantages, or people that prefer D-pads, or I mean, obviously some games that use both of them. Some things use the D-pad, other controls use the analog stick. Bomb Squad's not that. We have pretty basic controls. PRs now. Oh, okay. I can take a look through PRs. It'll largely be the same set of PRs that was there before. If my internet is wanting to respond. Burp, burp, burp. Come on, GitHub. You can do this. Believe in yourself. Oh, you were just sending me the PRs link. Okay. What did we... Spawning time fix. Did we look at this one before? I think we did, right? That one sounded good to me, I think. For real GitHub, what are you doing? Oh, update. Weird. My internet is strangely slow for a moment, or just GitHub. Speaking about controller, we can't map the action button to the joystick. That would be a cool addition. Oh, like pressing the joystick down, like that, the joystick analog button. Oh yeah, please ask questions. You don't have to ask. It's very meta. Record a video. Okay, it would be interesting. PlayStation or Xbox? Oh, are you asking like what I prefer? I don't have a the only console I have is a Switch, so I'm not like on Team Xbox or PlayStation. I personally, I feel like I enjoy like the feel of a Xbox controller more, just like the analog stick placement for whatever reason. I've always just been a fan of that, but I do, I have like a PS5 controller for testing, and this controller is just so like sexy. I don't know. I love like the shape of the PS5 controller. Yeah, who here is what? Who's Team Xbox or Team PS? Organs and bones crush when the player walks over them. That could be fun for like certain flavors of the game or play modes or something. Just going all dark with it. Doing DDoS. Are you getting someone doing DDoS attacks? That is... I mean, I know there's been a handful of people doing annoying attacks on servers over the years. I try to add protections for them in the game when possible. Some of them, like DDoS attacks, it's like I'm not sure how to add protection for that. I can try to make the game, resilient to bajillions of connections happening at once or something. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like I don't know what the solution to that is. Oh, bummer. I mean, I do. My plan for the future, like squads mode, is going to be less about playing on your own hosted server and more about, writing server code and whatnot and having that run on the cloud on like arbitrary servers. And so then if you invite friends to play with you, like using your special code, it'll happen on some random server somewhere, and only you and your friends will be told that IP address. So for if you're just playing minding your own business, it should be pretty hard for someone to DDoS your play session. It's a lot easier when you have like a sitting duck target, like a single server at an IP address that's not changing, and someone's trying to be a jerk. It's a lot easier for them to target your server if that's the case. So hopefully that situation will improve with squads mode. Oh my gosh, I didn't focus. I do. I mean, I don't know if I don't think I have ADHD. I feel like like I mentioned, I feel like I have the opposite problem. Oh yeah, my excuse was, look at GitHub, it's so slow. Okay, now it's responding a little bit more. Okay, update the copyright year. I did see this one. This one's kind of awesome. It just like updates the copyright to whatever the current year is, which is cool. But I want that in a way that makes me wonder if that would cause like a legal problem or something. Because like if the copyright literally needs to be a year where something was changed, and like I stop updating the game, say, but the copyright year keeps incrementing. Like I wonder if that would ever like cause some sort of issue. Like this is not a real copyright declaration. This is just giving me the current year. But in general, that's a cool way to like save a little bit of time. That is, I haven't done that yet. Like there's a lot of code out there that has like, copyright, whatever, Eric Fremling. I think not so much on the public repo anymore because that's all, open source license stuff. So I don't think it has like a copyright anymore. But I think in my internal repo, there's still some places where I need to update the year. It's still on 2024. So yeah, there's a few updates here for updating the copyright year. So thank you. Contributors.md, I'm always happy to accept that. Unless it's something crazy, like, if you post like, I am the king of the world, or what, I don't know. We already talked about angular velocity, which is generally, a good job, but we'd have to be careful about breaking backwards compatibility. Change log, small but fun change. Is there anything different here? Does it have, I mentioned like this would be cool with sounds. Oh, different sounds. Cool. All right. I'll have to check that out. That sounds great. Get screen size. I do want to, I did want to revisit this and do a proper, like approved way to do resized windows. So just, well, let's see. What should I? Oh, internet. I wanted to change, I believe, like the single player co-op screen, it's designed for this ratio, which is, a lot of phones. Oh, go away, chests. So it's designed for like this screen ratio, but some phones still have like this ratio, a little bit more, non-tall. And so it looks less good here, like this ugly top bar. I would like to have this thing respond to screen sizes changes. So I'm hoping to do that as part of this build, which means basically I need to add like a callback where if you have a main window, it can be informed like, oh, the screen size has changed. Please rebuild yourself, essentially like that. And then also exposing like you did like this get screen size here. So I'll take a look at that. If that's in pixels, that's probably not the right way to do it, but I'll take a look at it and get something, based on this or otherwise in there. Because I would like to be able to have screens like this kind of adjust themselves. That would be great. Breaks compatibility. Okay, I'll have to, I can take a look. I mean, did it make sense like when I was talking about compatibility, like what that winds up breaking? Like if you have a server that sets angular velocity and a client running 1.4 is connected to that server, they're going to get a message saying like, hey, set angular velocity on the spaz node, and that'll just crash the game for them. So it's like, you need to be very careful about, sending out attribute updates for clients that don't have that attribute, So that's the tricky part. Wait, encrypt the IP port. I worry though, like, even if we encrypt the information about where the server is or the port it's running on, the client still needs to, at the end of the day, decrypt that stuff to connect to it. So, people will be able to figure that out. Even if that stuff happened in, as part of like the Plus library, like the closed source stuff, people would still, maybe that would be helpful. Maybe if the only place that IP address and port is exposed is like deep within Plus, like maybe that would at least help. Because then people would at least have to, run like a port scanner or something to see like, okay, what IP address and port am I connected to here? As opposed to just like running a print statement in Python. And then the same kind of effect as a correction packet. Now, so the correction packets basically are sending. Correction packets are just going through for every like rigid body in the game, like the physics thing. It's sending position, rotation, velocity, stuff like that. So it's not actually, it's the same exact set of things that it's been sending since version 1.4. But the problem is with attributes, when you add a new attribute on something, that basically it winds up being like an index, so it's like a number. So if you're adding angular velocity, that would probably be like attribute number 37 for Spaznode or something like that. And so the client, whenever it'll get that update as like set attribute 37 to whatever value. I'm trying to think like if that was done in a way where it wasn't. I mean, I guess that's kind of the problem is to access it from Python, it has to be an attribute, which means that attribute will wind up getting sent to all clients as a value, which is like separate from the physics correction packets, which also include angular velocity. If this is sounding complicated, I could take a look. There might be a way to, where the server can set angular velocity, but in a way that it's not an attribute, if that makes sense. Or maybe we can flag an attribute as like this never gets sent to clients. Like there might be a smart way to do it. It's a little bit confusing where like, there's like physics attributes. It's not even attributes, just like the physics values, like position, angular velocity, rotation, all that stuff. But those don't exist as attributes, so to speak. That's just like part of the rigid body. Attributes are things that are accessible from Python and they get synchronized between all the clients and everything like that. So if you're taking like one of the physics values like angular velocity and you're making, a node attribute out of it, then that node attribute is going to get sent out. And that's what's going to cause the problems. It's not the physics packets, if that makes sense. Like I said, I'll take a look at it. Maybe there's something smart we can do, like maybe there's something that's already there. I haven't touched that code in a while, where we can like make an attribute, but say, like never send this attribute to the client. This is only for like physics correction packets. But even in that case, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to give it a little thought. Because there's other things you can do too with attributes. Is like you can tell clients, hey, connect this value of this node to the angular velocity of this node, which means that, essentially, that sort of thing happens a lot where you connect like position values. So you'd kind of want to be, if the server did something like that, you'd expect the clients to do that as well to reproduce the effect that the server is getting. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sorry, this is probably confusing everyone greatly, but I'll take a look and see if there's something that could make sense. But it might also just be a sense of like, we just need to add a flag, like only allow setting this if like spaz physics version is greater than 3 or something like that. There's some sort of like smart flag in there. Oh, yes, I am recording, so as long as nothing went catastrophically wrong, I'll push this to YouTube. It should be on YouTube tomorrow. in about 20 hours from now. So much Spanish. Yeah, if you guys could, if possible, talk in English, just so then I can respond to stuff. Like I said, I took Spanish in high school, but I'm still like not able to get too much out of reading Spanish. Virtual width and height, pixel width and height. Yeah, for exposing, like, kind of went on this topic last time, but I believe anything we would want to expose would be like virtual width and height. I'll take a look. But yeah, I'm all in favor of exposing whatever it would be that lets us make UIs that fit the screen exactly if we want. The other part of the puzzle, like I said, is having the UI be able to know when to update itself, like when the screen has changed. So that's something I can probably add at a low level. Just like if the screen has changed, recreate the main window once every second or something like that. What is all this? Ooh. There's so many, that's super cool. There's so many modders and communities and things I'm not even like aware of. So yeah, good job, ByAngel. Is ByAngel like here or on the server in general? It would be interesting, like what, yeah, like what modders or just what stuff is out there that I'm like not even aware of. And Zacher and Catlight also, shout out to other folks getting mentioned. All right, what am I missing? What am I missing? Oh, did I? Sorry, ADD again. Okay, so yeah, get screen size. Good idea. Small fix. Was that? Is this something new? Oh yeah, that sounded good, I think. Oh, I mentioned though that this would break compatibility with like indented stuff. I'll have to take a look at that. That was the one. We still want BA meta to work if it's indented. So, if it does like calls like strip to get rid of like white space before it or something like that, that sounds like it would work well. Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, this sounds good to me. If if it works, or if as long as it's, even if stuff is like map specific, like I don't mind that too much. Or is this just? Oh, it's actually tweaking the. Okay, cool. Tweaking the map itself. There's a few other tweaks, like map-based tweaks that I'm supposed to get in there. Sock sent me one for runaround. I should try to get that in there before the final 1737. So yeah, cool. I like it. Removing hard-coded lines. Did we look at this before? Oh yeah. Yeah, in general, I'm all in favor of removing hard-coded lines. So, yeah, happy to take a look. I wonder if this would be something more like for meta tagging instead of like using inspect. But inspect could work. So yeah, I'll take a look. In general, I like that. Like, yeah, hard coding bad. Doing smart stuff good. Oh yeah, proactor event loop. I keep wanting to give this a whirl. Oh, also, this reminds me, who was it? The folks having Windows not launching issues. Did you try installing the runtime libraries? I had someone else who emailed me with that exact same problem, and they wound up installing the libraries. Like it turned out they had like the 32-bit version, and they installed the 64-bit or something like that, and they said that fixed it for them. Hard-coded bad. Did I say hard-coded hard? Oh. Oh, and it didn't work. Bummer. Okay, well maybe that's something else then, entirely. Ugh. What is this? Whoa. Actually, I feel like I should just watch things on YouTube here because I have more control over size and volume. Brings me back to my rave days. These are cool effects. There's I assume that's added post and video. It'd be cool to like be able to do them in game. Or maybe it's an app that lets you do it in game. I don't know. But I feel like that would make it a little hard to play. I like that there was like a pixelated moment. It looked very like indie game. Cool. I feel like it was just like an explosion of vibrant color. New character, Easter Bunny Reload. Another thing on my like eternal to-do list is get like a character viewer in there or something. So when starting to get, more fun skin variations and things, just something where instead of only seeing icons, it shows like a rotating view of the character or something next to it. It'd be fun to just admire your cool stuff. But yeah, this Proactor event loop. Has anyone else taken a look at this? Is this something that I haven't actually like looked at it yet? It sounds like maybe there was some weird brokenness in Python 1 or 3 points. I don't know, one of the versions a few years ago, and it sounds like maybe it isn't broken anymore. So we can like remove this custom code that switched the event loop type. Party. Okay. Minecraft update Pale Garden. I'm not actually familiar with that. What is that? Is that a question for me? Okay, and then these last ones are two old ones. I've discussed those before. Still, yeah. I should probably like not let those sit there forever, but yeah, this one was like the idea that if you're knocked out, you shouldn't flail arms and legs when airborne. My thought was that like a lot of times when you're airborne, you'd be knocked out, so that would just kind of like change the overall look of being airborne a lot. So kind of skeptical on whether that would be a good idea. Why can't you accept PRs right now? It's mostly just to have one less variable changing. I mean, I technically could. Maybe I'll do a little pass and try to accept at least like the straightforward ones. I guess most of these are pretty straightforward. And I guess things are still in testing mode, so maybe I should just accept everything, or at least the ones that are ready to go. I don't accept them like literally at this moment. Like I'm willing to do it like today. I feel like I need to, let the wheels turn in my brain a little bit more to like think about if everything's clearly a good idea and stuff. Do you guys feel that way if you're giving a presentation or talking in front of people that like your brain runs at like 40% power? I totally feel that way. So I feel like I'm not able to 100% like think about something as clearly as if I'm just doing it while I'm working. But yeah, several of these are pretty straightforward, so I could probably. All right, I will try to do that after Coffee with Eric wraps up. Because yeah, there will be a little bit of. I mean, this is going to be a very slow rollout with 1737. So it is probably a good time to get some potentially. I mean, most of these aren't going to destabilize things, but just on the off chance that something does cause bugs. Do you ever think about giving up Bomb Squad? No, not really. I'm having far too much fun with it. I definitely worry about doing something that would cause me to think about giving up on it. That's part of the reason would worry about like hiring a bunch of people and turning it into like a more serious like business. I mean, it is very serious for me, but if it got to the point where there's like teams and very strict schedules and choices that I'm making are affecting whether people have jobs, stuff like that. I don't know. I could see that making it more stressful to where it becomes not about fun and it becomes more about like, oh, this is work now. It's never felt like work to me. So I want to try to keep it feeling that way, if at all possible. I mean, also it is my income. Yeah, that is true. But I mean, I could get like a regular job. Um, so I feel like, yeah, right now I'm still, I feel like I'm doing it because it's fun and not because I need to do it to make money. But yeah, I feel like that's sort of a fragile thing. I worry that, so I'm trying to do what I can to keep it feeling that way. Yes, just barista. Huh. I do. It's funny because I love, I live in the city here, and so I love just like wandering around and working, coding in coffee shops. But I feel like I have to catch myself sometimes when I tell people like, oh yeah, I'm working in a coffee shop tomorrow. Like I feel like some people probably think I'm a barista. Will there come a time when servers will be able to use custom models and textures? Yes, that time is called 1.8. So um, I'm close to wrapping up this weird 6 month long 1.7.37 journey. And then it's back to finishing up 1.8. So 1.8 is all about that, all about having servers that can have custom textures and custom maps, custom characters, all that good stuff. So yeah, very excited to get back to that stuff. It's been sitting there waiting for me for months. Except 1 year PRs live, please. Okay, all right. Let's see. All right, which of these is the... This one seems pretty straightforward, right? Actually, out of your PRs, which one do you think is the most, like you are most confident that, there's no possible criticisms of it? This one? Yes, is that what you're saying here? All of them except screen size. Okay. All right, I'm going to go with this one then, spawning time fix. Let me take a look. All right, I will try to take off my broadcasting hat for a moment and just think about if there's any considerations here. All right, if self-kill, what is self-kill? If the flag killed itself or not. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think that seems good to me. All right, accepting. All right, I always do like, thanks. Boom, pull request merged. Live coding, everybody. It's very exciting. Will it be mandatory to use the new version? Unfortunately, if you want for asset downloading, it will be. So yeah, the server will have to be running 1.8 and clients will have to be running 1.8 or newer. There's simply no realistic way to... I mean, there's no way I can have older versions of the client download stuff. Like I'd have to like hack the phone or something. They just don't have that, functionality in there. So And same with the server, like it has to have special functionality to be able to send stuff out. So both the server and the client need to know how asset downloading works. Final 3 questions. Okay. Okay, do let us know if when you're absolutely sure Angular Velocity PR would break compatibility. Well, if you're saying it would be super useful, it might just be worth, I can take a minute and wire it up, or give feedback on how we could wire it up to make it safe, so it doesn't destroy the world for older clients. Let's take a repo request. Okay, I'll take a look at that in DMs. I think unless there is a strong reason to try and reincarnate 173.6 36 prefabs, my plan is just to push through with 1737. I mean, I want to really start pushing out the door to real people within a few days. Those things I mentioned before, getting chests wired up to achievements and single player co-op levels, and then I want to start slowly rolling it out. I still have a lot to polish. But I feel like I can be rolling it out. So my preference would be to just push forward with 1737 if you guys can do that on your end. Simply because I looked into it, and getting 1736 prefabs working again would be my pipeline just isn't really set up to do that. I'd have to just do some hacky stuff. Or if someone else out there had working 1736 prefabs and you have all the cache files, I could install those onto the server so that other people would be able to get those same cache files and build 1736, but it would only be able to only the exact builds that you have run would work. Someone wouldn't necessarily be able to build the Windows 32-bit build or something. So there's hacky ways that we could get 1736 prefabs going again. But like I said, my preference would just be to forge ahead and just embrace 1737. Especially people are going to have to update their mods anyway, just because the API version changed. So my thought would be just let's all take the plunge and just do it. Just get the world shifted over to 1737, and hopefully won't have to change API version again ever, if any time. Or at least not anytime soon. But yeah, let me know if there's a lot of stuff that would benefit from having 1736. That it's technically possible. It would just be kind of a pain. Will CNV2 be out in 1.8? CNV2 I think will be probably part of 1.9. 1.8, the only thing. I mean, we'll have to see for sure whether it makes sense to fork off a CNV2 in 1.8 for the asset downloads, but I think I can kind of shoehorn that in probably to CNV1. We'll see. A mutiny on older versions? What do you mean by that? Oh, that's a good reason. What would, do you have a sense of, adopting 1737 for overclocked, or is that just going to be a huge amount of work or delay everything a ton? And again, if you have cache files, if you have prefabs that are building with 1736, hold on to those cache files, and I can install those cache files on my cache server. And then other people would be able to run those same builds. So, that might be something we could do. I unfortunately don't think I have those cache files. Because I got my new laptop a few months ago, and so I started with an empty cache directory, so I don't think I have old cache stuff. And I apologize, I didn't realize, I thought there was enough runway on the server to be able to, keep the last version running, but this stupid 1737 has been going for so long that we ran out of cache time for 1736. It should be fixed now. It should be up to a year plus. But yeah, it has already deleted the 1736 cache files. Mr. Mickey Rugg. I was talking to him. He gave me some feedback on the chest system and all that. So he's been around, but yeah, I haven't seen him on the server. Well, there will be talking about compatibility. I mean, some of this upcoming stuff will kind of break compatibility. Like with the 1.8 is going to be a completely new protocol version and stuff like that. And so that's going to be like the first hard break we've had in a while. And then once we switch over to like new scene versions, that's been in the works for a long time. The whole feature set stuff. Like once that really comes into play, then compatibility shouldn't be an issue anymore. I'm very tired of trying to keep things compatible with versions of the game from 12 years ago and stuff. It'll be great to be free of that. I agree. It's mostly just like I want to keep kind of what's in there now, like classic mode, so to speak. I kind of want to have that be sort of set in stone. So like I would like this version of the game, classic mode here, to still be able to join old servers and things like that, just so people that have like really old 1.4 servers with really cool stuff on them, I don't want them to like lose all of their hard work there. So I kind of feel like it doesn't hurt to like freeze classic and time here, and then squads mode will just be a completely different beast that can evolve forwards. But this will start to be just like, this will be like a separate play mode again. You'll probably play squads mode hopefully by default, but if you want to go flip over to classic mode, you'll still have all the old server lists, and yeah, classic mode will still be its little time capsule here. It'll probably just say like classic mode with a cool font. Also, you can merge compatibility, breaking changes by adding more protocol versions. Yeah, there's a little of that now. Like I think the server has an option to use different protocol versions. So by default, it uses the more backwards compatible one, but you can use the newer one, which gives you a few things like, I remember I didn't realize that like clients were not displaying camera shake. And so like there's a newer protocol version that gives you camera shake on clients and stuff like that. But it's disabled by default so that older clients can join. So that might still be a thing, even 1.8 and further. It might still be like, except maybe it'll default to the newer protocol, which supports things like texture downloads and stuff. But there might be an option. I'll have to see how technically challenging that would be, but there might be an option to like turn your protocol version down so you can use a new server but host something that older clients can join. But yeah, it's kind of a complicated thing, all the protocol versions and stuff. So that's partly why, again, like feature sets and things like that, I really want to just start to make that simpler where like, oh, I'm hosting using Scene v3. So that's great. Everyone with Scene v3 versions can join. Or I can switch to Scene v4 or whatever. I don't know. Hopefully that'll simplify the landscape, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, it's protocol 35 and 38 for camera shake. So for 1.8, yeah, it'll probably be like 39 or whatever the next number up is. And so there may still be the possibility to set it down to 38 or 35. But it might be something where maybe it's easier to just like hard code it at 39 plus. And if you want to host a server for older players or older clients, you just have to get an older version of the server. At some point that might make it easier to maintain the code. Okay, all right. Sorry to be using up all your bandwidth. So see ya, Era. So yeah, I'm sort of surprised in a way that like the game has remained compatible with old versions as long as it has. But yeah, at some point it does make sense to you got to move on in some way. I'm just hoping to be able to move on in a way where like the old version can keep working, but then we have like a completely free to improve new version also, you know, and that's why the whole like different scene versions and stuff. Yeah, release V2 accounts, made a warning saying if an account is inactive for a while, it gets deleted. Yeah, it's very, the account deletion is very, very sensitive in terms of like if you've done really anything on your account substantial, it won't delete it. It's mostly, I have it do a pass on people who have like clearly played the game for a day or two and then never touched it again. And it'll delete those accounts after some time. But if you have any inventory basically, or obviously if you've bought anything, but basically, and if you've made a substantial amount of progress in the game, it shouldn't be deleting it. At some point, maybe I could be more aggressive with that, but I would certainly want it to like send you an email warning you or something like 30 days in advance, or, you know. And I might not, there might not even ever be a reason to delete accounts, you know, aside from the obvious cases. It would mostly just be like if the database costs add up that much, but I think they're pretty reasonable right now. But yeah, none of you should have to worry about your account getting deleted, like if you're inactive. Like I said, if you've played for more than one day, or if you've unlocked anything, I shouldn't be deleting the account. At some point, I'm hoping that we're going to get to the point where pretty much everyone has a V2 account, because then I'd like to start doing some fun stuff with like icons again. Right now, there's still just the ugly V2 icon. So, you know, maybe this will always just start to show like your V2 account name instead of, though I guess people like to have, you know, like global profiles show up here. That's kind of a good question. Is like, would you guys be okay if tournament standings always only showed your V2 account name? Because if we get to that point, then, you know, it could be nice to like start to customize like how your V2 account name displays itself. So yeah, so my thought on that is, I mean, right now there's this little button here, which is just like a button with your name on it. It's really ugly, but you know, this whole thing here, like I started to do like this little outline with your icon here. I'd like to kind of do something like that in here, and then at some point it'd be cool to be able to like customize this a little bit. You know, maybe a different backing, or obviously different icons for if you've, I don't know, done really cool stuff. And then also maybe being able to like add a few little badges at the bottom or something in certain versions of it. Like maybe when it shows in like a large area, you know, just something where it's like you can kind of like customize your name a bit. And then that would also show up here in the corner, and then that would show up like here. So it's something you know, this is down the road a little bit, but just kind of thinking about fun ways to kind of customize your account appearance. But this means we need to like transition fully to showing V2 account names and not like global profiles. I just don't want to like deprecate global profiles too much, you know, since people paid for them and they are unique. It's more just like I feel like it adds a little bit of confusion. There's like, okay, there's unique V2 account names, but there's also unique global profiles, which could be the same name as a V2 account name. You know, it's a little confusing. I'd like to just get it down to like, everyone has their V2 account name, and it, you know, so you know, everyone has a unique name, and there's only one of each name and stuff like that. I am actually kind of curious. This would actually be possible to look up, I think, right? Is there, I think I exposed something like that, right? Is there like a resources, accounts? Oh yeah, if you go to accounts, you can look up by account ID A0. See, like that's me. Created 3 years, 5 days ago, last active 1 day. You could go through the list here. Last active 16 days ago. Isn't that Dwilick? Like, why did he change his name to Hugo? Did he get it? Oh, no, it auto-completed. Whoops. I was like, what happened to Dwilick? Yeah, okay, Dwilick. Oh, he's not been active for a while. Oh, sad times. But yeah, you could go through the list here. Let's see, A2, free queue 5 days ago. All right. Oh, it keeps auto-correcting. Dang it. Droopy, 72 days ago. So, yeah. Nobal, A50. Let's see. When did you last play? 0 days ago. Way to go. All right. Search mushroom. Okay. Whoops. Oops. Can't tag mushroom. 0 days ago. Nice. All right. Way to be. Hey, double digits are pretty cool too. I remember when I was like rolling these out, it was like, hey, everyone, grab your low account ID. It's going to be like super cool someday. So, but even like, yeah, even a 4 digits one, you know, that's still impressive. Five, you know, as it gets into like 6 or 7 or 8, I don't know what they're at now, but you know, actually, let's see. Accounts, newest accounts. Oh yeah, we're pretty high. 13 million. So any of you guys with low account names, you can sell it for something someday. But I would be curious, like what random person just you know happened to hop on the Discord server like the day that I debuted V2 accounts and you know grabbed like a low number and then just hasn't done anything with it. Like there's probably some like deleted V2 account that was like 3 digits or something. I should put some like logic in there, like preventing you from deleting a single digit account. Be like, no, sell it or something. Hold on to it for 10 years. Cool. All right, seeing all these like 0 days ago, I fully approve. Good job, everyone. Oh, have they? I keep seeing these rumors about Switch 2. They still haven't announced that properly? Oops. I almost did it in the accounts admin. That would you'd see all the. I mean, whatever. There's nothing too sensitive in the account admin page, but still, I feel like that's kind of like private. 0 days ago. Well done. 2 years, 300. Oh my gosh, this has been so long since I made these things. So yeah, 188. Nice low number. Good job. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, once it is possible to maybe like customize the look of how your account shows up, you know, maybe, or have like little badges here, like a few little simple badges or customizations. I was trying to think like what would be good ones to do. You know, I was thinking it could be cool like to have, I don't know, a special one for, you know, having a account below 1,000 or something like that, or you know, a account active more than a few years, you know, something like that. Just some cool little look that everyone could have just because they were there at the start. Any special gifts for contributors? I mean, that could be another thing. Is just like if you've added something to the game, or if you're, you know, if you've submitted a PR that I've accepted, like you get a cool badge for that or something. The downside would be I feel like the danger with this sort of stuff is then you get people like submitting stuff because they want that badge, you know, and not because it's useful. I worried about that a little bit with like language translations. It seems like some people translate like one word because they want to have their name in the credits, you know, and so it's like, maybe doing it for the wrong reasons, but still, whatever. Or yeah, for you, I mean, honestly, if you've done a decent amount of modding, like I'm happy to hook you up with stuff. Like, please don't hesitate to be like, hey, could I have some goodies for this stuff I've done? I should be more forthcoming and like just handing that stuff out, but without asking. But yeah, I think that like that's super valuable if you're a member of the community, you're modding the game or making stuff for it or whatever. And if you're in a place where like I can help you out with throwing you some tokens or gold pass or something like that, let me know. I should be careful saying that because then I'm gonna get everyone messaging me that was like played the game for the first day. It's like, hey, can I get a gold pass? But yeah, I should sit down and like go through the GitHub and just hand out little prizes to everyone who's helped out. Donate $30. Totally. It's like when I'm testing in-app purchases or something. It's like bust out a device and just like I buy like a $5 pack of something and I'm just like, yeah, I just made $5. But oh wait a minute, I just spent $5. And 30% of that just went to like Google. Oh no. News trans. Oh, okay. I'll try to get caught up on translation submits. I'm sure there's a few sitting around. I do also, like I said, that's the other big thing I need to update is like a lot of this new stuff doesn't have language translations submitted yet. Tokens of Gold Pass hooked up. Yeah, everything should be hooked up everywhere if you're running the Google Play version. You should be able to buy all this stuff, Tokens and Gold Pass. Prices should be set locally in terms of like it should be hopefully reasonable for, I mentioned before the Gold Pass, I was aiming for it to be like the cost of like a mid-range game on Steam or something. So let me know if it seems out of line. Not like a AAA game, but just something that's like half of a AAA game or whatever, But I took a pass through and customized the currency rates for all the different countries. If you were here a few months ago, I was talking about that. I was copying like what Steam optionally does is like local pricing, where it's not really based on the conversion rate. It's based more on like what people actually spend on a pizza sort of thing, stuff like that. Or it's like the Big Mac index. So, okay, cool. Yeah, it's, this stuff should all be working. Like I said, at this point, if you run into anything that's not working with 1737, please holler. Like I said, it's mainly polish and adding more chest rewards for things and polishing like chest open times and stuff, trying to get that stuff a little balanced. But everything should be mostly functional. And the inventory page is still this ugly little simple thing. I'll probably expand this at some point to just show, like the characters you have and things like that. Because when 1.8 rolls around, I expect the store to be more fluid. It'll be more just like maybe different variations. It won't always be the same set of stuff. And then you'll have inventory just to like see the stuff you've got because it might not be in the store anymore, if that makes sense. Kind of standard stuff, I think. So yeah, I'm sure some of the servers are a little empty these days. I hope or expect squads mode to revitalize things a bit, or 2.0 if nothing else. I'm not really putting a ton of effort into like advertising the game or anything, or getting the word out, and also the fact that there's no new maps or anything like that for quite a while. I know some of the servers are probably stagnating a bit. Of course, it doesn't mean the game's dead. It just means like I'm working hard on 1.8 and 1.9. If I'm a bomb squad server on a Ubuntu server and they want to take down, I really don't think it could corrupt your system. I think if someone hits you with the DDoS, it could maybe crash the game. Like there might be something where they could like maybe cause your log files to get real big or something like that, but they shouldn't be able to like destroy your server. I'm not aware of any sort of exploit. I mean, I'm not aware of like any exploit that I do hear about. I try to patch, so I'm not aware of any exploit that like gives remote attackers control or anything. Like those would be serious. I'm not aware of any of those existing. So I think you should be safe. The worst case with the DDoS is that it takes your server effectively offline. You know, people can't join it because stupid DDoS people are spamming it. So yeah, what Luke said. Oh yes, chest slot thing is fixed. Sorry about that. I know that there was an interesting issue where, yeah, some of the first people to play with the chests, there was an issue where you claimed a chest and you already had 4 chests. It would just replace one. that was dumb on my part. I should not have coded it that way. That was something where I did it like, oh, I'm just going to do this temporarily. I'm sure no one will run into this, and I'll get it fixed in the next day or two. And then, of course, several people ran into it and lost chests. So I apologize. Bad choice on my part. My fart. Brain fart, yeah. So the chests right now, I've given like anything you win in a tournament, it has a 24-hour time limit to claim it. So in a way, it's sort of like chest slots where like you have to manage it a little bit. If you don't claim it, you'll lose it. I'll show you what it looks like. So test tourney chest. So yeah, you get this little thing, and yeah, it's got an expiration. Expires in 23 hours. So if you haven't claimed it by then, you won't be able to claim it. And I did that because otherwise people would be building up like enormous backlogs of chests in their inbox. That just doesn't seem good. You know, you could like play the game for 3 days, earn a bajillion chests, and then just not play it for a month and slowly work through your chest inventory. Yeah, I feel like that's just like not what I intended the system to be. So it's a little bit like the limited 4 chest slots, in that like you have to you might have to work a little bit to claim everything you've won if you're playing a lot. But again, like let me know if it feels like you're just not able to claim it any significant amount at all. You know, I can rebalance it. I don't want this to feel unfair or anything. But if it feels too unfair, again, like there's always the escape hatch here, the gold pass. So, but again, I don't want people to feel like they have to buy a gold pass to enjoy the game. Scroll up, okay. Option to pay for cash for gold pass. Just message me after. We'll figure something out. Or DM me. There are like, if you're not running a version of the game like Google Play or something where you can pay, I do have like a PayPal, or just talking to people in general. Like there's a PayPal on fromling.net if you want to just, you know, feel free to like donate there and message me and say like, hey, I'd like a gold pass or whatever. Like that little link right there. So yeah, like if there are people where paying is an issue and you'd like something, just yeah, I can set you up. Why not just disable anytime? This is exactly what Gold Pass is. I didn't know how to phrase it. I just phrased it as infinite tokens, but effectively you don't see token costs. You don't have to pay tokens. Like if I have this pass down here, you know, I see chest is locked, 8 tokens to open. If I give myself a gold pass, it's just, this disappears. There's no button. It's just like I can open the chest. I just phrased it as infinite tokens. I didn't know if I should phrase it as like removes tokens from the game. I thought that might be more confusing. What do you guys think? But basically this just like transforms the game into premium instead of free to play. Obviously I wouldn't want to say it that way, you know. I thought infinite tokens sounded nice. Video is pure misinformation. Merp.
Para quien no lo conozca, Bomb Squad fue un título del año 2011, el cual cautivaría una gran cantidad de
what
jugadores,
happened, Bob?
principalmente por su
What is this?
pay to win, sino hacerlo en...
I'm curious, like what is that video about? I not speaking Spanish very well. People who sponsor raffles. So raffles, if you have a gold pass, you can just enter the raffle once every day, which is the same as you can enter if you're paying tokens. So I'm trying to always consider anything that can possibly use tokens has to account for the gold pass. And my rule for myself is I am not allowed to have any advantages to using tokens over using a gold pass, and I'm not allowed to have any advantages using a gold pass over tokens. It's simply two ways to do the same thing, you know? So that's why I couldn't have like infinite raffle tickets if you're paying with tokens, because by that logic, I would have to have infinite raffle tickets for gold pass holders, and that doesn't seem very fair. Show giving gold pass. Okay, well, yeah, if you want to see what happens here, L2 chest, normally it would be 8 tokens. If I was on mobile, you could watch an ad also to reduce that. But if you have a gold pass, I'm going to go do ultra hacky stuff. I technically did this earlier, but I'll do it again. Accounts, account editor, my fancy account editor, entitlements, add a gold pass entitlement. Boink. There we go. You can see infinite tokens and no more thing here on the chest. And if I come in here and want to enter the raffle, I can just do it. It's not 5 tokens. Or if I go to asset packages and check out my storage, I have a gold pass, so I have 100 gigabytes of storage. So you see, Gold Pass just basically maxes out anything that you would spend tokens on. Now I'm going to remove my Gold Pass. Bye-bye, Gold Pass. Gold Pass, remove from account, boink, removed. And there, my tokens are back, and my timer is back. So, ta-da! Those who bought Bomb Squad Pro will get Gold Pass free. No. Pro is actually costs less than Gold Pass. You'll still get all the Pro benefits, like no ads. And I mean, a large part of the Pro benefits anymore is the unlock, the 600 tickets and the stuff it unlocks. So like, you still have all that stuff, but it doesn't automatically give you a Gold Pass. Yeah. Like I said, if you've played the game a lot or if you've contributed to the game or anything and you have a Pro Pass, like, hit me up. We can figure something out. But yeah, right now, Gold Pass will automatically give you all Pro benefits, but not the other way around. Well, that's true. That's a good point. Like, if it was similar price in rupees because of price adjustments, let me know. I can maybe make an exception if that was the case or something. But in most cases, like in dollars in the U.S., Gold Pass is like $30, which is, like I said, it's about half the price of a AAA game, which is usually 50 or 60. A lot of like Steam games are like 20 or 30. So Gold Pass is 30. Pro was 5 though, so it's like significantly less than Gold Pass. But because of like different pricing in different places, if they were more similar priced, like in India or something, let me know. Ooh, that's cool. Bomb Squad Remix. I like it. That's, it's still the recognizable logo and name, but kind of a fun, different style. Good stuff. What are you going to do after Bomb Squad is in 2026? After like 2.0 is out, or after, I have no plans to stop working on Bomb Squad, or at least like the engine, basically, or like the concepts. I could adapt it into different games, adapt Ballistica into like different styles of games, or, evolve Bomb Squad into like something different, or play the AR versions or something. But at this time, I have no plans to stop doing what I'm doing. Uh, See, this is why I should never give time estimates for when things are coming out because things slip and yeah. Like 1737, I thought was going to be, a very minor update. Instead, I wound up doing the whole like tokens thing and UI overhaul and like all this stuff went into it, which is stuff that I needed to do before 2.0 anyway, but it's still, that's an extra 6 months that I didn't really account for. But that would have had to be part of like 1.9 or something anyway. So yeah, I'm bad with time. Sorry. But yeah, my goal for this week is 1737. It feels just like this is so overdue. I just want to get it out there. I just need to get some more chests in there and translations. So yeah, I am spending like tons of time on this though. So sorry, I don't code faster. I feel like I code slower these days, like on purpose, in terms of like I code things more future proof. Like I was mentioning, one thing I've been doing with this whole like notification system is just really trying to make it robust, like making all this. If you were here at the beginning, you saw this, but I'll give myself a simple inbox message. Ta-da, there's some little stuff, or I can give myself a dual inbox message, which is ta-da, it's got like 2 options, or this delay one. Let's see, what is delay one is like, I can have it do something, and then do something 1 second later, or expire, what is expire? Oh, this is just testing like the expiration functionality. See, I can claim that for 8 seconds, but if I don't, I did it in time. What else can I do? Link. I can have notifications with cool links, like check out this sweet link, google.com. If you haven't heard of it, it's a neat website. Or just like arbitrary awards, do tokens, tickets, chest. So yeah, so I can just send random messages to like award people some tokens or tickets or a chest. So anyway, I plan on doing just lots of fun stuff with inbox notifications and prizes and stuff in general. Also, the whole chest system is very generalized where, right now there's only tickets and tokens inside, but it can be expanded to like anything. So, we could throw a limited edition character in there for, like 1% of players get that or something or whatever else. So just trying to make this stuff all open-ended so we can have fun with it. Okay, some of you are, y'all are getting old too. It's not just me. If you've been here for 9 or 10 years, yeah. I hope so. I am really excited to see what 1.8 can do if people are able to like really start making their own stuff. I just want to, make the game that can take advantage of that and like put it in front of people and just like let it evolve. Well, so this is part of the reason of having like asset packs and stuff where it's kind of centrally controlled, is that if there are limited edition skins and things like that, you can't just, technically you'll be able to get the files and share them and other people will be able to make mods out of them and stuff, but you won't be able to use those on like official servers, things like that, so like it makes valuable stuff still be more valuable because it's not like a free for all where everyone is just, sharing Darth Vader mods, or copyrighted stuff or whatever else, So, so I'm not too worried. Like I said, people will still be able to hack around and, distribute stuff between themselves, but that stuff won't be usable in most online play. I'm using I'm in the U.S. I'm using actually AT&T fiber connection. Like I'm at a somewhat new building here in San Francisco, and they have some pretty speedy fiber options. So this has been really nice for streaming or just uploading lots of builds and things. So splurged a little bit on my internet. And also, like I need to stop the stream because it's been going too long. But if I can make things exclusive and where like you feel special if you buy some cool skin that only limited amount of people can have or something, it would be cool to be able to open that up. I know I mentioned this before, like let other people do like a Steam Workshop type thing or some custom thing where people could potentially make their own campaigns or maps or skins or whatever, and even make money off of that or something like that. I'd be supportive of that as long as it's done in like a kind of a tasteful way. That's probably something I would have to hire like a lawyer and an accountant to figure all that stuff out. I don't think I'd be able to wrangle setting up payments for people in different countries and this and that, but it'd be cool to have. So that's something I'm keeping at the back of my mind going forward, is supporting something like that. So okay, I will. It's hard to like. I definitely want to give some gifts. I don't want to like be too upfront about it here or whatever. I don't want to like make anyone feel left out. So, all right. Well, that's all I should say for now. Let's see. Any other questions I should answer real quick? Speed boots on Bomb Squad. Those could be fun. Originally I was going to have those. Took them out though because of all the levels where you can fall. They made that very treacherous. It could be fun in like specific levels though. Gravity BS is only node. It's just like straight down, I believe. I don't think it's exposed as a vector. We could certainly do that though. Government forced him to stay silent. There's a government agent here right off the screen pointing a gun at my head. Didn't want to mention it, but All right, well, I should wrap this up for today. Like I said, we're running over. I try to like aim these for 2 hours, but we're getting a little higher than that today. Any last questions, thoughts, comments? So we got a person or two typing. It's mainly just because my coffee runs out after 2 hours, so I got to go refill. Otherwise, I can't function. Coffee and gambling. It's what gets me through the day. Oh, that might be. Oh, I feel like I should put that as the title for this week. Oh. Well, thank you for everyone who's played, and thank you for all you old people who stuck around for like 10 years. It still gives me conflicting emotions when I hear people say like, "Oh, I love your game, man. It was my favorite game when I was a kid." It's just like, oh, it's not that old, is it? Oh wait, yeah, it is. Coffee and gambling. Addictions. No, I'm not addicted to coffee. I could quit anytime. I mean, I do feel that way, but that's always what addicts always say, so you never know. Oh, well, thank you guys for all the, change the world. All right. I know it's just a game. It's kind of, it's easy to, think like, oh, this doesn't make any difference or whatever. But it's like, I do occasionally get emails from people saying like, oh, they love playing the game with their daughter or something like that. So it's like, it does make differences in people's lives, even silly things like games. So, it's worthwhile working on. So, anyway, I should hop off here. So it's been good chatting with y'all. Like I said, give me feedback on any of the chess stuff. I do want to balance this so it doesn't feel sleazy. I think it's good for the game going forward. It allows the game to make money hopefully without feeling like one of those grubby free-to-play games too much. or too gambly or anything like that. But let me know if it's going in the wrong direction or anything. So anyway, otherwise, I will talk to all you folks later. So peace out, everyone.